Greetings friends, my name is Magog. Today I want to share with us the message of facing fear in the cities. Fear is one of the topics that has gone down the books of history as one of the enemy of mankind. In the biblical context, fear means phobos, that is in Greek. It means getting frightened, getting nervous, dreadful, and it also means reverence for God. So, in this context, we're talking of the fear that is dread, that is being frightened of the circumstances or whatever that is happening around you. That is the fear we're talking about. How do we face this fear in the cities? Let me take you back to the history when Franklin Roosevelt ascended power in the 1930s. Franklin Roosevelt ascended power at a time when the economy was declining. For 3 years, the economy has been experiencing downtime. And Roosevelt gave a speech that is mentioned in book and that resonated with most of us, where he said, "There is nothing to fear except fear itself." Roosevelt pointed it out that the number one enemy to fear is not the declining economy, but fear itself. Fear, as Cuban psychologist puts it, Mira Lopez, he puts it this way: it's a monster that sends shivers down your spine. It steals your dreams. It steals your willpower. And not only those, it makes you swap the focus that you should have in Jesus and put it in fallible human beings. It lets you distrust God and think that God is insignificant in the face of the challenges you're facing. You will see the unsurmountable obstacle that you're facing as more than the God you worship. We'll now talk of fear in the cities. Fear is a complex phenomenon, and these are the things that are related to fear or that causes fear. Fear is initiated by economic downtimes, be it your individual financial crisis. It could also be lack of trust in your government. When you don't trust your government to give you the security in your city, or the crime rate is rising in the city, it gives you fear. Failing to trust the transportation system that it will give you the necessary security as you commute between various locations. Fear in the cities can be a complex phenomenon. It can be crime and urban violence. When you're in the city, the fear, especially with cities that are infested with robbers, you always fear that your safety is not guaranteed. It could be a transportation system in that city that you might be sexually harassed whenever you're using that train or that public vehicle or anything, any mode of transport that you are using. It could also be social and media pressure, where you threaten with messages or some post, or feeling that you are left behind when every friend is doing so well, a virtual, seamless and real life that we see on social media. It could also be a lack of trust in our own government, where the government is infested with corruption and we have lost trust in them. That ignites fear. Now, what do we do? How can we face our fear when we live in cities and are always assailed by these monsters? Overcoming fear with faith. Although the Bible is not a psychology manual or a treatise of the brain, it delves deep into the subject of fear. In fact, it is mentioned 365 times in the Bible. And when such a book that records the deeds of historical figures stresses the subject of fear, we really need to look into this. Is there a tangible solution that the Bible is offering for such an overwhelming topic and subject as fear. So, is there a solution to something overwhelming as fear? Can we live without fear? Can we remedy our fears? Many people who are filled with fear, dread, frightened, have sought help from doctors and from psychologists. Although this might work, the Bible offers a tangible solution that we can rely on. Yes, dear fellow young person, we can eliminate fear. We can deal with our fear through faith. The Bible offers faith as the antidote to the monster called fear. Now, since we found the antidote, what is faith? Which is now the remedy. What is faith? The Bible defines faith in Hebrews chapter number 11 and the verses number 1. And allow me to read it for you. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This, in the same letter, Paul puts it that, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. It is important to note that not just any kind of faith conquers fears. The faith that truly conquers accepts the existence of God. Believing in God is the first step toward living a victorious life. Those who do believe in God have God as their guide to direct them even in the middle of the turmoils of life, in the difficulties of life. They can count on God and God direct their path. Those who do not believe in God seems to be in a confusing situation. They have nobody to rely on, and their fears are always heightened because they have nobody to believe in. And man is a being that is created to worship God. Faith that conquers fears is not just a superficial faith. It is a faith that establishes a special relationship with God. A faith that trusts that God acts on the earth with righteousness, love, and justice, as mentioned in Jeremiah 9, verse 23 to 24. Before we continue, it is important to understand that by saying that we ought to know God, it doesn't mean fully comprehending Him, because as finite human beings, we cannot fully comprehend God due to our mental limitations and our weaknesses and our faultiness. We cannot fully comprehend God. But by knowing God, we mean that we establish a relationship with Him so that what He is affects who we are. And finally, the faith that overcomes fear is the one that leads us to trust in God. Someone once said, trusting in God is when we believe and allow Him to do what we cannot do. That is true faith. When we allow God through faith to intervene in our life, to trust Him that He will fulfill His promises, yes, we will be rest assured that our fears will be eliminated. It also frees us from the negative emotions and thoughts. Faith is really crucial to eliminate fear. And not just faith. It is faith that trusts in God that He will do what we cannot do. And by trusting that everything is in the hands of God, and whatever happens because God allows it. Harriet Tubman, a woman who suffered the pangs of slavery in the United States at the time when slavery was a norm, She, like any other young person, wanted to gain freedom and to be free. Imagine being in a place where your freedom is restricted. You work for somebody, they don't even care about your feelings. So when she was 27 years old, with courage and faith in God, Harriet ventured north, venturing on a journey that was perilous and dangerous. And yes, because she was determined and had faith in God, Harriet took that lift of faith and went north with the tracking dogs and those who would report you to the slaves. With faith in God, she managed to escape. And Harriet did not stop there. She returned to the south to venture on a mission to rescue other slaves. Using an underground tunnel, Harriet managed to help over 300 slaves escape slavery in the United States. At one point in time, she came across a poster with her very own picture reading "Wanted." She was on the wanted list. But with all those dangers and turmoils, our faith in God grew stronger, and our courage and faith helped her overcome our fears and even the fears of others. Harriet came to be known as the Moses of our people for rescuing. Dear young people today, I beseech you that we develop faith in God, we trust in God, we develop close relationship with God so that we can become like Harriet Tubman and overcome our varied fears. Harriet Tubman, faith and determination can make you overcome the fears and live a fear-free life. Dear young person, you might find yourself dealing with fear in your city, be it due to the urban crimes, insecurities in the transportation, or the economy itself, or your very own financial circumstances, your studies, or the social media pressure instilling fear in you. I want to invite you to have faith and trust in God. And how can you do that? Music can be a great way of talking to God. So this is the challenge for you, dear young fellow. Comment your favorite worship song on our Instagram and we'll compile a list and invite you to listen to the song on our Instagram page as you talk to God and create connection with Him. Thank you. I am not used to cramming. I want to tell you, music is unimportant. Stop, cut it.